Ladies and gentlemen, earlier today, my boy Marvel Contest of Champions Trucos hit me up with this amazing infographic on immunity and resistance in Marvel Contest of Champions. However, he wanted somebody to do a video on it and explain some of the more caveat champions that don't necessarily have just straight immunity to either bleed or poison or any debuff, because there's a lot of champions that interact very differently with these type of debuffs that can either make the debuff shorter, less effective, or completely shrug them off. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video, is we're going to be covering pretty much resistance to debuffs and how stuff works. So first off, we're going to start from the beginning, guys. This is a guide aimed at beginners, so we're going to talk about the bleed and poison immune champions and the characters that are immune to both. So the characters that are straight fully immune to bleed are Luke Cage, Groot, Ghost Rider and Colossus, and also Unstoppable Colossus. Now, the champions that are immune to poison, and this is fully immune, guys, are all of the Miss Marvel family. So you got Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. You also have Black Bolt, Hyperion, and Ronan in the Cosmic class. Then you have most of the Hulk family in the Science class, as well as Abomination. So that's pretty much it. Kind of the rule for the poison immune champions, generally like the Cosmics and most of the Hulk family from the Sciencer class. Now, when we go into both, there are currently 5 characters, well, 4 characters in the game, and one coming very soon that are immune to both bleed and poison. However, 2 of them are quite easy to get, and the other 2 are a little bit tricky to get. So you've got Vision, Age of Ultron, who is quite easy to get. He's in the 4-star and also premium hero crystals. Then you have Ultron, Age of Ultron, again, is a readily available champion. The next one up is Dormammu, who's not in the game at the moment, but is going to be added, well, speculated to be added next month. And then you also have the classic version of Vision, who is only available when kind of an offer comes up on the store. This is one of the very few champions in the game that the only way to get it is by buying it via a unit deal or via the store when it comes up, and he doesn't come up that often. He's only come up twice in my time of playing the game, so it's once every like 6 months or so, but again, it's really random, really hard to tell. And then finally you have the classic version of Ultron, who is the reward for 100% completing the Labyrinth of Legends. So yeah, he is really difficult to get, but for the most part, the Vision, Age of Ultron and Classic Ultron are, sorry, the Ultron, Age of Ultron are really good champions, and quite easily obtainable. Well, it's all luck based, but you know, those are very desirable champions and great ones to rank up. Now, those are all the champions that are fully immune to bleed or poison, or both of them. Now, let's talk about the caveats, and we're going to start about on the bleed section. So we have Old Man Logan. So any bleeds that apply to Old Man Logan are dramatically shorter. They are really short. With having a kind of fully maxed out Old Man Logan, any bleed applied to him is going to be 79% shorter on the condition that the bleed has a duration. If you're on some sort of node that has like an infinite bleed, a bleed that, you know, doesn't have a timer associated with, then it's still going to be an infinite bleed. It's not going to like expire over after a certain amount of time, so you need to bear that in mind. However, we move on to the next character, which is Beast, which kind of has, in my opinion, a bit of a better version of this utility mechanic, which not only does he have 65% reduced duration, but also 65% resistance. So any bleeds that apply to him are 65% less effective in terms of the damage that they're done. Now, the next character that we have is Gambit, who, while above 80% health, has 18% resistance to bleed. So that means the bleed is 18% less effective, which really isn't too good. It's only for a short amount of fight, but he has it, guys, so it's worth mentioning. Why not? But if you want a champion, if you maybe don't have a bleed immune champion and your only option is Beast, it's important to bear in mind that, you know, he does have that really strong resistance to bleed damage there. Now we move over to poison. So there are 2 characters. Carnac has a 65% resistance to poison damage, so any poison damage done to him will you know, deal 65% less damage, which is pretty good. Cable's one works in a bit of a weird way, where every poison that applied to him after, you know, consecutively, if you're fighting about Abomination, will be 20% shorter than the last one. So the first one will be 100% duration, then 80%, then 60%, then 40%, then 20%, then he will be fully immune to poison. I don't think at the moment there are really any context where that's super useful apart from fighting Abomination. But it's something to bear in mind and something that might come in useful when it comes to, maybe Act 5. But generally, a Poison Immune champion is going to be a lot more effective at dealing with that. But it's interesting to bear in mind. Now, we have the all debuff champions on the right-hand side. So let's talk about those. So these champions all work in very different ways, actually. We have Rogue up first. Any debuff applied to her, absolutely any debuff. And these are very important to bear in mind when you're parrying. If you kind of get used to parrying, these are the champions that you really do need to watch out for. So any debuffs applied to Rogue and Groot are going to be shorter. Rogue is 65% shorter and Groot is 53% shorter. So it's a bit tricky to fight those two characters, if you're getting used to parrying, but it's also, helpful to bear in mind that anything you apply to them will not last very long at all. They're going to get rid of it very, very quickly. The next one is Crossbones. This is when the character is duped. His awakened ability is he has a 25% chance to shrug off debuffs, and this is when he is at dupe level 99. And that's whenever a debuff is applied to him. So that can be useful in some circumstances, but it isn't anywhere near as powerful as Agent Venom's one, which is a 70% chance to shrug off debuffs, which, yeah, he doesn't need to be duped or awakened to have that, which is absolutely incredible for a champion. Like, Agent Venom is such a pain to fight. He's such an incredibly annoying champion. So yeah, he's an amazing defender, and also very good if you have, like, the Suicide Masteries, because most of the time he's going to shrug off both the bleed and also the poison. But, it's not 100% guaranteed, but it's very, very likely that he will shrug those off. I've done some tests as well with Degeneration on Agent Venom, and he doesn't seem to shrug that off. So it looks like the only way to counter stuff like Degeneration is just to use a champion that heals for quite a lot. The final champion on the right-hand side is Carnac, who has 50% shorter duration on non-damaging debuffs. So this is a wide range of stuff, but the main thing is parries, stun. That's the main thing you need to look out for when you're fighting a Carnac. But, much like Crossbones, you only need to worry about this when the character is awakened. And this can also be seen on the infographic by the little kind of, silver star above both Carnac and Crossbones. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the explanation of immunities and resistance in Marvel Contested Champions. There are a lot of characters that can do a lot of different things, and it's nice to know how they all work, but this infographic is going to be very, very useful, especially come Act 5, so great job to Trucos for making this. So, ladies and gentlemen, the final thing is, if you haven't already checked out Marvel Contested Champions Trucos on Facebook and YouTube, they do some amazing stuff. There's tons and tons of really useful infographics. If you go to their photos archive, tons of like upcoming stuff in terms of data mining. They're really, really good at that. So a link to both their Facebook page and also their YouTube channel will be in the description below. Make sure to subscribe because they've been doing some really, really cool stuff there. And yeah, like they are on it with the data mining, guys. If something new is coming to the game, they are usually the first people to know about it. So for a great source of information, I really do recommend checking out their page. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the infographic. If you like the video, guys, leave a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. Apart from that, take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.